Zero is back, and just like last week, this week is just full of information. Like, this was a lot. We start out with finally getting the last of our crew together, Hermit's body at least. Her and Witch can finally do a proper greeting that they only could do in cyberspace. Unfortunately, they still can't have all four Shining Stars come together again, because Valkyrie's still dead in this world as well. But there has been another positive change, though. Hermit apparently was not shunned away like she was last time. The reason why she was in the video game world is because she was basically just having fun on vacation. Yeah, that whole thing with Dr. Muller never happened in this world. Apparently, that whole plan to re-energize an old, dying planet full of androids, in this universe, it was a real plan and not just to blow up a planet. And apparently Hermit succeeded and, well, had nothing else to do, so I decided to play video games. Thank God Jin was also in the room when this conversation was being made, because he mentions that he never met Dr. Muller either, which really confused me when he was first introduced and he was an OTech, a cyborg. And it's revealed that, instead of Dr. Muller doing this to him, he chose to do it to himself on his planet. Because in his home planet, it's a very common thing. Their planet apparently is very hostile to its people, and so they turn themselves into OTECs as a way to survive, or if they just feel like it. Keely, of course, was afraid, and so she never did that. Apparently, turning yourself into a cyborg isn't just a custom on their planet, it's also studying abroad. Keely and him decided to go out together. They ended up in guilds. Now, they didn't do this on purpose. Apparently, the two just got lost and just decided the best thing they can do is work for Draken Joe. I can't tell if he's blushing from embarrassment or not because he's a cyborg, so it's hard to tell what his expressions are nowadays. But he should be embarrassed by just how stupid he is. Like, how does getting lost lead you to becoming a criminal? Like, if you had a spaceship that got you onto the planet, then you could have just left. Or did he fall into debt with Draken Joe? He doesn't really go into detail. Seems to be like, it happened. But the biggest issue is actually Homura. She's still broken. And so to help her out, the gang take her to the dressing room where they give her her old outfit. It doesn't work at all. She still has no idea who any of these people are. She still is completely lost. Homura does finally reveal what happened to Valkyrie and everything. And of course she blames herself. It's not entirely her fault. It's just a really fucked up custom they have. So just like in every world, Homura's mother leaves and Valkyrie basically becomes her new mother and teacher. And so this Homura is also able to use ether gear and is taught in the ways of the sword as well. In fact, she was so good at it that she decided to enter a competition within her planet. And in a match with the Shogun's son, Senji. But yeah, Senji's alive again, but he ended up getting injured by Homura, and apparently that is punishable by death. Which is absurd because it's literally a sword match. Even if you're supposed to technically lose to the Shogun's son, it's still a sword match. Things like that could happen. As you can imagine, Senji's still a good guy, and he tries to stop the execution, but the Shogun refuses because he's a bastard, apparently. Like, honestly, a fight between kids in a tournament, for God's sakes. But yeah, so Homura's gonna get her head cut off. That's when Valkyrie steps in, and as her teacher, this is her fault and her responsibility, and she will take the punishment. And as you can imagine, Valkyrie's beheaded in front of Homura as she's begging for her mother's life. It's insane. And that's how we ended up with the meek Homura. She's unable to ever use a sword ever again now. Doesn't have the confidence. And so she decided to go, once again, look for her mother. Hermit points this out, and I was thinking the exact same thing. Why is Homura the only one with a crappy life in this world? Everyone else seems to have a happy story going so far, but hers is awful. Obviously, everyone probably knows where her mother is, if she's in the same place as the old world, so they decide if they're gonna jog her memories, her mother's probably the key to do it. And even though this Homura has had a pretty horrible life so far, having to meet such an awful woman as her mother, if it's what they have to risk, it's what they have to risk. So they head on off to Planet Sunjewel. Before they actually find her mother, they decide to warn her that in the previous world, she went by Madame Krena. Well, they can't actually say what she did, but Homer pretty much guesses that she was an awful person. And yeah, she was. She was a pretty piece of shit is what she was. Complete utter piece of shit. Yeah, so while they're wandering the streets, they notice that there's no one else out there anywhere, and that's some random guy says, "Hey kids, what are you still doing out? You need to get to a shelter." Yeah, apparently the stone monsters, they roam the surface freely because the firm worm or zone, which was basically filled with slaves who worked themselves to death, doesn't exist here. Yeah, no, it's just a blockaded zone. So basically, they locked it all off, but apparently the stone monsters are able to break out every once in a while and flood the city. So as you can imagine, since they're strong enough to destroy the stone monsters, most of them aren't afraid, except for Shiki, who's scared of bugs. So they're like, do we really need to hide? Can we just handle it? And the person who's warning them basically says that the Punishers will take care of it. And that is when we're reintroduced to all the former slaves. Nino, the YouTuber, well, B-Cuber, my bad. And of course, apparently the whip guy and the fast lion. Yeah, apparently they're all good guys now, so that's a thing. And their leader is Homura's mom. Yeah, so in this world, I'm assuming the happy ending for Homura would be that her mother is a good person. Either that or this is some kind of scam she's running. But it doesn't look like she's running some kind of scam because she hasn't enslaved anyone. I don't know how to take this. So Route 1, her mother is actually a good person now, and she's been doing this as a way to, 1, protect this entire planet from the stone monsters, and also a way to earn some money so she can pay off her debts. Option 2, she's pretending to be a hero so she can rob these people blind behind their backs because she knows how valuable the stones are in these monsters. Once again, it's really a flip of a coin when it comes to this particular character because she is a bitch. Just an awful person. But either way, based on Homura's reaction, it didn't jog her memory at all. In fact, it just seemed to scare the hell out of her to see her mother again. Yeah, Homura's memories are really going to be a major issue going forward. I don't have any idea how to jog them. Which really sucks because you finally got everyone together. Not everyone is together. It's like you're thirsty, but you're surrounded by seawater, so you can't really do anything about it. But yeah, that's the video. If you enjoy, please subscribe, give a thumbs up, so you can enjoy more Eden Zero and other anime things. Thank you, and have a great day.